Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast. Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Joyce Nwatuobi. Joyce Nwatuobi is the founder of ThriveHealth, a patient-centric digital health company whose mission is to seamlessly connect patients to providers through innovative and cutting-edge technology. Prior to founding ThriveHealth, Joyce worked as a senior vice president for a large health system in the Midwest, where she focused on strategy, integration, finance, business transformation, and joint ventures. Over the years, as a healthcare executive, Joyce came to realize the enormous opportunity that existed in the digital health space due to the growing sophistication of the patient population, increase in global mobility of patients and healthcare disparities, and sought to close that gap by developing solutions that increase providers' productivity while addressing patients' experience, access to care, and caregiver engagement. Well, good afternoon, Joyce. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on the show, Brian.
You bet, Joyce. This is exciting. I'd love to kick off the day with an amazing podcast from another healthcare colleague. So, Joyce, let's jump into the questions here. You've got an amazing career in life sciences, healthcare, and executive roles. Could you share with our audience what drives you and what has contributed to your success?
So thanks, Brian. In response to your question, my greatest driver has been and continues to be the desire to make the world better than the way I met it. And being the youngest of 5 girls, I've had many role models in my life growing up. And my sisters, I would say, were my first source of inspiration. And since starting my career, I've been blessed with mentors and coaches along the way. And many of them have helped me, advised me, sponsored me, and advocated for me behind closed doors. So I'll say those have been the biggest drivers in my growth in my career.
Thanks for sharing that. And I think that's really unique story, at least the first that I've heard of having elder siblings be a good positive role model in your life on this podcast anyway. So thank you for sharing that. And Joyce, as you know, everybody globally recently has had to make major shifts to this new normal, the pandemic, right? Could you share with us what you're doing to help your organization stay relevant in this economy?
Like everyone else, Brian, one of the biggest things we're doing is learning how to use our technology more effectively. As you know, we all had Zooms in the past, we all had Google Meet and various different platforms, but we didn't really spend time to understand how they all worked. And so spending time to truly maximize the use of technology will be one of the first things that I would say. And then secondly, minimizing our travel and yet finding creative ways to stay relevant, stay connected to key clients, stay connected to the team, stay connected just in general, and then pivoting really quickly. As you know, I've heard stories of people who have had to change their products just because they lost their customers and they have to pay their bills. And so as an organization, we've had to pivot quickly in response to change in demand, and in some cases, change in supply of our products and services. And finally, I would say increasing our use of non-traditional means of marketing our products, and again, meeting with our key clients and keeping the team morale high. It's many people are down with COVID and it feels like there's no end in sight. And so finding creative ways to stay connected with the team, the clients, and marketing our products.
Thank you for sharing, Joyce. I know it's been a challenging time for all of us, but it really shows the innovative ways that us humans in the world can adapt quickly to overcome a challenge in life. So thanks for sharing that. Joyce, are you leveraging any new or emerging technologies out there? Maybe it's just a cool app that you're using, but you could share with our audience.
Yeah, so I am. And some of the technologies, like I said, I know they existed in the past, but haven't really invested time and energy in using them or learning about them. So I'm learning a lot about artificial intelligence right now, voice recognition, IoT, and such other technology. And we're building apps that have all of these functionalities as well. And then a number of apps that I have found really, really useful. And just having a startup company that's limited with admin support, Doodle has been a great help. Calendly has been a lifesaver in setting up meetings. Slack, I would say I use Slack quite a lot in staying connected with my team members across various states in the country and even in other countries across the world. Slack would be my number one go-to app, and then followed by Calendly and Doodle.
Thanks for sharing that. I think Slack is an amazing tool. There's a lot of tools that have really, I think, grown in usage due to the pandemic. So thanks again for sharing. Joyce, last question. This is the big one. My audience wants to know a little bit about Joyce. Can you share something from your career experience that would be helpful for those looking to grow their career in either healthcare or leadership?
Sure. So, Brian, I grew really quickly in my career, and I'll attribute my growth to two things. I learned really quickly that you have to have a mentor, but not only a mentor, you also need to have a sponsor. And a sponsor is someone who advocates for you behind closed doors when you're not there. When an opportunity arises within an organization and they say, who should we put on this project or who should we take a chance on, right? And having a sponsor in the room that can say, oh, let's let Joyce give it a go. And she may need to learn a few things, but we'll be right there with her and would help her. And so I would ask the listeners, if you don't have a mentor, go ask someone to be a mentor. I'll tell you, people, they like to be asked. And when you ask them, 100% of the time they say yes. And so get the courage, go ask someone to be your mentor, and you see how impactful that will be for you. And then the second thing I'll add to that is it's very important in your career as you grow in your different roles to be curious. It's really important to want to learn, to be a learner, to stretch and grow. And don't stay in your box. I've moved within my career from finance to operations, from operations to mergers and acquisitions to integration. And I've found that I've stretched and grown over the years because I didn't allow myself to be boxed in. You're an accountant or you studied finance, and so that's all you do for the rest of your life. And so as opportunities arise, stretch, grow, never say no when people ask you, do you want to try this or do you want to take this project? Always stretch and say yes. Say yes first and then think next. And sometimes those opportunities may be too big for you in your mind. But if someone asks you the question and gives you the opportunity, they've seen something in you and believe that you can do it. And so always say yes to opportunities. And then the last thing is, even if you're not asked, so some people don't get asked, they just don't get the opportunity to be asked, volunteer your time. Reach out and say, I would like to work on this project. I would like to be involved in that project. And put in the effort, put in the sweat, put in the time, and it will surely pay off at the end. So those would be my few nuggets of wisdom and what's helped me to this point in my career. And it's been an exciting journey. It's just been amazing. I've had so many wonderful leaders in my life and people who have just gone out of their way to help me be the person, the professional I am today. And so definitely want to pay it forward in the future. And I think that's it, Brian.
Amazing, Joyce. Thank you for sharing that. I think that's something that will resonate with a lot of my readers here, and I appreciate your time. Joyce, it was a pleasure having you on today, and I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Thanks a lot, Brian.
Bye for now.